Thanks for tuning in to BuilderX Market Update. I'm Jessica Amir, an equity analyst with the firm. Well, the US government has added another 28 companies to the China blacklist, restricting them from doing business with America. It wasn't what the market wanted to hear just a day before the US-China trade talks kick off again in Washington on Thursday. That's tomorrow in US time. And that's just why we saw US equities pull back. The tech-heavy Nasdaq was down the most, 1.7%, and in particular, a US firm called Ambarella saw their shares fall 12% as a Chinese firm that uses Ambarella's products was added to the so-called entry list or trade black book. So from the get-go today, the Aussie share market was expected to open lower, and that's exactly what it did. The S&P ASX 200 is now down about 0.7%, erasing yesterday's gain. Most of our sectors are lower today. Our tech sector followed Wall Street earlier, and it was over 2% lower earlier in the session, but now it's clawed back most of those losses, and it's now sitting with a fall of about 0.7%. The energy and consumer discretionary sectors are down about 1% today. And industrials are bucking the trend and going slightly higher, with real asset-backed companies like Sydney Airports and Transurban holding firm. And as those companies also tend to do well when interest rates drop. Diving deeper, there are plenty pockets of gold in the market today. Speaking of gold, the precious safe haven commodity gold gained 1% overnight, jumping as high as $1,508.31, which is boding well for local gold companies today on our stock market, including Newcrest Mining, St Barbara and Resolute Mining. And we've seen their shares jump about 1% earlier. Going the other way, discretionary play, Baby Retailer, Baby Bunting, BBN is their ticker code. They're also doing well, continuing to strengthen their foothold in the market, despite the retail sector being depressed. Baby Bunting shares were 3.7% higher earlier, and now they're about 1.7% up at $3.56. It comes as we've seen Macquarie Bank upgrade their stock, and Macquarie expects their price will rise over 20% this year, or over the next 12 months, getting as high as $3.80. Citi expects the company to do better than that and expects their share price to jump 30% and expects their price to get as high as $3.94. I, in particular, have found this particular retailer to outperform. Their sales growth on year, they're up 3% in a depressed retail market, while their profit is up 40% this year to date. And because of that success, other people are jumping onto the bandwagon too, which is why we've seen heavyweight investment managers come into the firm as major shareholders, as well as a Japanese bank called Mitsubishi UFJ. Over in the healthcare sector, a small company, Orthocell OCC is their ticker code. They're also continuing to do well. Today they released a nerve regeneration outcome result that saw its shares continue to bode well, and their shares were as high as 29% earlier after their technology called CellGrow successfully restored movement in quadriplegic patients who had paralysed muscles. So an exceptional outcome, albeit it was a small trial result. In terms of economic news, not much out today. It is a quiet week, in fact. Later today, all eyes will be on the US Federal Reserve minutes. Moving to commodities, the iron ore price is continuing to bounce back on the month. It's now 1.5% higher overnight. It hit as high as $94.80 or thereabouts. Great news for heavyweights like BHP and Rio Tinto, which are gaining for the second straight session, while the Aussie dollar is now at 67.92 US cents. Have a great afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow morning.